little heavier because I want it to be warmer, or maybe it's like thinner, and that's the one that I want. So, like, you pick it out. But my point is that you you could basically safely pick that out, and be reasonably certain that it's going to be what you thought it was. And yeah, maybe not. Maybe it's like an 80%, maybe 85%, where it's like maybe it's not exactly what you wanted or something like that. But the point is that you got a pretty good idea, and and a lot of times, even in those, if it's 15% that it wasn't exactly what you wanted, unless it goes into like the 5% where it's like, this is just totally wrong and I didn't want this at all. When it's in that 10% area, you're like, oh, okay, I'll just, that's fine. My point about the flow and the juggling and stuff is that, like, this is the equipment you're going to be using, so it's kind of ideal. You really want to get your hands on it, like, sort of before you buy it, if you can, because then you'll know what you're getting. The way that to do that, sort of the best way, is when you have, your other friends who are using the same equipment, and you're like, okay, like, I want these silicone balls that are, I'm just making up a number, like 40 millimeters, and they're orange, and they have this specific weight and all this stuff, and they come from this company. So, maybe it's Renegade or something. So you can, like, so then when you order that piece of equipment, you've already tried it, and all you have to do is, like, basically confirm that they sent you the right thing, the thing that you wanted. So that works out. But the point is, going back to, like, retail space, or like getting the equipment out there, is that there is an amount of individuals in different locations, not everywhere at all, in very specific, and probably, I don't know, there might be like somewhere between like 50 and 200 of these places around the country, where there'd be enough people who are interested in this stuff to support, like, having like that immediate access to this equipment, up front, like, and have it available. So that's that. I mean, the mail order has been a huge factor in juggling equipment for as long as equipment has been available. So that probably will always continue, but it is possible to see, possibly, it's worth exploring to see what would happen if equipment is available at a skate shop, at a toy store. And I'm not just talking about like a very limit, like, there's 3 rings or a set of balls or something. I'm talking about like a good, whatever it is, a dozen or more types of things, types of equipment to try out, and like have available. So, it's just like, oh yeah, I need some of these balls. I know that, go into a little bit more depth here. I know that, one of the pieces of equipment that have come out in the last, like, decade, 5 years or so, is the West Peden LED balls from Fun in Motion. And those would really be like the I think they're, right now anyway, like the best example, because I do think that they're getting into stores, and people want them. They can do a number of functions, not just juggling. They could be sort of decoration. They could even be used as like a flashlight in certain situations, and they're just great. They're great juggling equipment, and on top of that, they are connected with West Peden, and West Peden is one of our great jugglers. We've got a number of amazing jugglers, inspiring young jugglers, which is a whole nother topic, which is basically that, the last, I would say, 10, 15 years, the the skill level has just really, it's something less than skyrocketed, but it's like pretty close to a skyrocket, especially given that how difficult it is to advance. So it's like basically what happened was, I'm just saying, I'm guessing, but about like in 2000, in the year 2000, if you did 5 balls, that was considered like you are definitely like, you're like a real juggle, like you're a juggle with a capital A. You're considered, even within the juggling community, you're like, okay, this guy's like advanced. This guy's really a, guy, non-gender guy, whoever the guy is, the dude. This person has advanced and really put in the work. One of the things about 5 balls, just in general, which will always be the case, is that 3 balls can be seen as like sort of accidental in a way. Like someone could teach you to juggle 3 balls like in a day or in 2 days, and then you could like sort of like stumble into 10 catches or 20 catches, and then from there just kind of like go a bit. And then even that sort of can kind of go into 4 balls, because you could say, okay, well, I can do 3. What if I do 2 in one hand? Oh, if I can do 2 in one hand, maybe I could do 2 in the other hand. And then you learn 2 in each hand, and now you basically have 4. Like if you start practicing to do 2 in each hand at the same time. So that's sort of like I would call that as like, there's sort of, I don't want to minimize them, but there's this sort of aspect of like stumbling into these. And for some people some people pick up 3 balls and they just like get it. And the same thing with 4. But what you don't see is 5 balls. Like, I don't think there's anyone who just like stumbled into 5 balls. And because of that, every juggler who juggles 5 balls recognizes other jugglers who can juggle 5 balls, and obviously jugglers who do 3 and 4 recognize the 5 balls. Now the general public does not understand 5 balls at all, and in fact, after something about 35 years of juggling or so, I will recommend that you don't juggle 5 balls for the general public unless you're getting paid. Or maybe if you're street performing, where there's a context where you know what's going on, like there's a reason that you're doing the 5 balls. But if you tell someone like, oh, I'm a juggler, and then you start juggling 5 balls, it's just gonna like be lost on them, and they're probably gonna say like, oh, this guy's a jerk, he's a show off, like, who does he think he is, juggling 5 balls like that? So what I will extend is, in that vein, is that if you are going to juggle for someone, and you're, someone's like, well, what do you do? What skills do you have, or something like that, and you say, I'm a juggler, and you have the opportunity to show them, which is also good, because if you can avoid saying you're a juggler, unless you have the opportunity, that's probably best too, because don't really say you're a juggler and then not basically juggle right then. Even if you have, I've done it where like I've had a hat on and I've balanced the hat on my nose. Like there's even that, like but you want to show them, like immediately that you're a juggler. So that gets into a thing. It's like, are you going to take off your shoes and juggle 2 shoes in one hand? No, but it's also, it's possible that you'll do something like somehow figure out how to have 3 beanbags on you or something, and that gets into a different conversation about what type of equipment is available, what equipment we need to sort of like make. If not, I remember I met a juggler at a juggling convention who and I saw him in multiple conventions afterwards, and he was always carrying around these 3 small bean bags that had they were like, the material that the knights used to use, like the chainmail. Like these were like made of chainmail, and they just squished up into his pocket when he's done. And I thought they were like amazing. And that's just an example of something that you can, equipment that's out there. Although I think he just he either made it himself or someone made it for him. It's not something you could buy, which gets into a whole other thing that a lot of times jugglers make their own equipment. which is great. So we need more of that too. But the thing about introducing yourself and saying you're a juggler, if you can do that and you have the 3 things on you, or maybe you're in a position where it's like, I'm a juggler, and then you know that you're going to see them again. But to be clear, what I'm trying to say is, if you're introducing yourself as a juggler and you juggle 3 balls or 3 objects, let's say you're talking with someone at at like let's say it's night. It's very not so busy at the desk at the hotel, and you strike up a conversation. You say you juggle, and there happens to be like some pencils, and so you juggle those. Okay, like all I'm saying is that what I've learned is that what people respond to is that if you say you're a juggler and you balance the hat on your head, they're like, oh, that's kind of cool. And they believe you. They believe that you're a juggler. If you say you're a juggler and you juggle 3 balls or 3 objects, they're like, yeah, oh, that's cool. This guy can juggle. Like, at that point, try not to drop. I do that a lot. But if you can, it's nice to get like, I don't know, 8 catches in and then throw one high and then catch it. That's really nice. But if you get a chance and you're able to juggle, and you say, oh, somehow it comes up and you're like, oh, I'm a juggler, and you're able to do 4 balls. 4 balls. So 4 balls is the one, not 5. And probably don't even tell them you can do 5. Just juggle 3 balls and then be like, hey, I'm going to do 4. Or just do 4. But either way, if you do 4 balls for someone, they're like, whoa, this person juggled. Like, I know juggling is 3 balls, but like this person juggled 4 balls. That's 1 more than I thought was possible. Then they feel like they're, they saw something like a little bit more, a little beyond. Like, this guy's really good. When you do 5, they don't get it. It doesn't register. It's too much. So what I've learned is what I just said is like, I guess if you have 1, you could do some contact juggling, but I don't think they really want that. They probably don't want 2 in one hand either. So it's really 3 ball, which is fine, and they will respond to that positively. But if you show them the 4 ball, and you give them 10, 12 catches of 4 ball, that's like the most impressed they're going to be. And if you have a business card on you and you're looking for gigs and stuff, that's probably the best. You're going to leave them with a good impression that you're a good juggler and you are proficient, etc., etc., etc. So that's just a whole bunch of relative nonsense, but I think that it is a little valuable. So try that out. See how that works for you. But yeah, we went in a lot of different circles there, but we were covering 5, and which went back into this near skyrocketing talent increase in the last 10-15 years. So in 2000, if you did 5 balls at a juggling convention, other jugglers would the way juggling conventions go, obviously people are watching each other, some more than others, and jugglers, if you're brand new, you've never been to a juggling convention before, you don't know anyone, and you start practicing in the gym or whatever it is, and they see you doing 5 balls, they'll be like, oh, this guy's a juggler, and like they'll assume that you know how to pass 3 clubs, 3 that you could juggle 3 clubs, that you could